it's Grandma Roseanne. If you would like to make the best chicken tenders you have ever tasted in your entire life, the breading is outstanding, and I made a sauce, a basting sauce, which is a honey chili garlic sauce. It's fabulous. Step into the kitchen. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Hi, you're going to be so happy you made it into my kitchen. It's Grandma Roseanne. We're going to make chicken tenders with a honey chili glaze on it. So delicious. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the marinade first. I have 1.5 cups of buttermilk, and to that I am adding 1/4 cup of white vinegar, 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. I'm using sriracha, and you know, chicken by itself doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, so we have to really enhance it. 5 cloves of garlic, and 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And we're just going to give that a nice little mix. I love chicken tenders, you guys. And there's so many beautiful sauces you can make with them. Okay, now we're going to prepare our chicken. Now I have chicken breasts here. You can go ahead and buy the tenders, you know, if you choose to. You're going to pay more money for them. Not quite sure why you would want to do that, but they're just so easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to cut some strips that are probably about 1/2 inch. Okay, we're just gonna pop that into our marinade. I'm gonna make quite a few, so you can just freeze them like I'm going to do. You can pop them into your air fryer whenever you have a hankering for them. And if you get some that have a lot of fat like that on them, just trim them off. Okay, I'm using 3 chicken breasts in here. That'll be more than enough for eating today and freezing for later on. Now I'm going to cover this very tightly with plastic wrap, and you're going to want to marinate this at least 2 hours. The longer the better. So if you have time and can do it overnight, that would be wonderful. All right, going in the refrigerator. Now for our dry ingredients that we're going to be breading our chicken with, I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of cornstarch. Yes, you heard that right, 1 cup of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We want a little bit of lift there. Now, in this flavor bundle I have right here, don't feel you have to write this down because I'm going to leave it all in the description. I have 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of sweet paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You can already tell how flavorful this is going to be. Look at that. And then we want to give this a good mix. I'm using a couple of cake pans here because I think they're going to be just about the right size and pretty easy to do all of our dipping. Okay, I'm going to set this aside for just a minute. Now I'm starting out with 1/2 cup of honey. I will tell you that I am cutting this recipe in half. I will leave you the recipe for the full portion in the description, but I'm only going to want half of this simply because I want some other dipping sauces with it. So rather than a cup, I'm using 1/2. Boy, that is thick honey. That was thick honey, but man, was it delicious. Woo! The fellow I work with, who is my work husband, brings me honey all the time, but he brings it from different farms, and I always am surprised at how wonderful it is. Thank you, Mason. My half recipe, it calls for 2 teaspoons of chili flakes. I'm kind of wimpy when it comes to heat, so I'm only going to put in 1/4. We'll see how that goes. I can always add heat to it, but you can't take heat away. And I should just tell you this so you don't get confused. The recipe is calling for 1 cup of honey, 2 teaspoons of hot sauce, 2 teaspoons of chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, 2 teaspoons of white vinegar, and 1/2 stick of butter. I will write those out for you, but I know I'm going to confuse you telling you I'm taking half and then I'm taking less than half, and don't worry about that. This is where you want to go. White vinegar. There. I made that so much harder than it had to be. Dear Lord. Now we're just gonna heat it up, melt the butter, let all those beautiful flavors come together, and then I'm gonna taste it, and I will know if it's good enough for me. My nephew's here, he likes things hotter than I do, so I might spice it up for him, because I'm a very nice aunt. Okay, let me taste this. That is really good. But you know what? The recipe does not call for it, but I think it needs 1 minute. I think a little bit of citrus in this would be perfect. So, a squeeze of lemon. It's got just a nice kick to it. Let me get another spoon. That really enhanced it, you guys. Well, our chicken is marinated enough, so I'm going to finish up the wet portion of our breading sauce. 4 eggs. Half a cup of buttermilk, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And we want to give this a really good mix. If you've watched the channel, you have seen me tell you about this unbelievable little spatula here, or whisk rather, and it's like an offset. So it really is. I use this one all the time. You guys, if you like it, I got it on Amazon. Okay. So what we do is we put the chicken into our dry ingredients first. I'm gonna make sure it's well covered. Shake off the excess, put it into the egg mixture. Coat it on both sides. Bring it back into your dry. And coat it again. And then we're going to put it on a rack. Now the chefs will always tell you, use one hand for wet, one hand for dry. I never have been able to do that. I just glom my hands in there and get all messed up. And now that we have them all done and they look wonderful, I'm going to put them back in the refrigerator, and they're going to be there for about 20 to 30 minutes. And that really helps that breading adhere to that chicken. Okay, we are ready. And we're going to fry these in a neutral oil, probably for maybe 5 to 7 minutes. You'll want it at least 165 internal temperature if you're going to temp it, okay? Here we go. And my oil, I brought it originally up to 360 because I knew it was going to drop dramatically. And I want to fry at 350. Be sure not to overcrowd your pan. I thought it wise to put on an apron. This is splattering. And remember, when you're frying something, if you're in a skillet or a deep fryer and it sticks to the bottom, don't pry it off because you're going to lose your breading. Just allow it to just fry a little bit more and the breading will release. Good to know. Well, just look at the beauty we created. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait to taste it. Now, I have the sauce that we made over here, which is the honey chili garlic sauce. But let's take a look. The breading is really perfect. It adhered to the chicken just fabulously. So now it's all about taste. So I want to try some of this sauce that we made. And this isn't really a dipping sauce, you guys. This is more of a basting sauce. All right. Whoa. We nailed it. We nailed it. I will tell you honestly, very honestly, that is the best breading I have ever tasted, the best I've ever made, the best I've ever had, even in fine restaurants. This is fantastic. I'll leave all the ingredients for you below. Please make it. Your family's going to love it. I think it's great with the basting sauce here. I really like that. If you have small children, it may be a little bit spicy for them, but I can see this cold with a potato or a macaroni salad at a picnic somewhere. I think that would be perfect. Thank you. Come back. Ingredients below. Hit that like button if you like what you saw today, and I hope you did. And we will be posting every Saturday, and check throughout the week too, because sometimes I slip stuff in there. Thanks so much. Come back whenever you want to spend time with me in the kitchen. Bye. I'm going to finish this piece.